Welcome everybody to this edition of Attention Talk Video. I'm your host, ADHD and Attention Coach Jeff Copper, and we're here today with marriage consultant Melissa Orlov. Melissa, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Jeff.
You know, I've learned so much from knowing you and interviewing you, and when it comes to relationships, coping with denial and the fact that that's a pivotal part of moving forward and not denying ADHD and some other stuff. Can you talk a little bit about denial? And then I want to talk about coping with denial in that relationship. So again, if we can start at the beginning, can you talk about denial and we'll go from there?
Yeah, so when people seek counseling or when they are really struggling, there's a actually fairly regular type of denial that they face. They go to their counselor and they say, please fix my partner. And what they mean by that is the ADHD partner is looking at a non-ADHD or other ADHD partner and saying, wow, everything would be fine if my partner were just less angry. Our lives would be great. And that's a form of denying that the ADHD matters. Mm-hmm. And then the non-ADHD partner is looking at the ADHD partner and saying, everything with my anger isn't the issue. The ADHD is the issue. So if my partner would deal with the ADHD, we'd all be fine. Mm-hmm. And so they are both wrong, actually. It always takes two people to fix a relationship. And as long as they hold that it's their partner's responsibility to fix a relationship and not theirs, then they're in denial.
So I got to believe, from what I've heard, is it's you to move forward. You first have to realize that you might be in denial and work on that. And there's no guarantee your partner will, but progress is made when both partners address that. Am I representing that correctly?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, if the question is, look, how do you deal with it if your partner's in denial? The answer is, if you can do this, assume that you probably are to some degree as well. Mm-hmm. But also, you can't force your partner to move out of denial. It's not possible. But what you can do is work on your own issues. Mm-hmm. And so when you start to do that, you open up the possibility that your partner will take notice. Mm-hmm. and maybe be more open to doing their own stuff as well. I mean, you end up in a very defensive posture if your partner is saying, hey, you need to fix get your act together here, mm-hmm. fix your stuff. Mm-hmm. You're not likely to really be inspired by mm-hmm. that strategy mm-hmm. to do much, because you just want to go, no, what are you talking about?
Yep. Well, it's interesting. I've learned, I fashion myself as an attention coach because I actually think that's what more represents what I do, is I coach people's attention. And the one thing I've learned over the years is there's really two ways that people deal with attention. One, you tell them what to pay attention to, and that works really well with kids and stuff. But as you grow older, it's really more of the person discovering what to pay attention to, because attention to me is a choice. And I bring this up because if you're in a situation the other person is maybe in denial, there's really not a lot that you can do. The more you tell them that they're in denial or you force that, it kind of pushes them away a little bit. And to me, the only thing you can control is yourself, so it really makes some sense to kind of focus on what you can do and what you can control. The unfortunate part is I don't know if you can force the other person to see what you don't see, but I know this is that all too often is if you push it too hard, you're actually hurting. It's kind of counterintuitive. You're actually making it worse. Those are my thoughts, but Melissa, you're the expert.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I did a really interesting experiment with my husband at one point, actually, very much in this phase where he was accusing me of my anger being the problem and how I was never nice to him. And I was saying, no, your ADD is the problem. And so I said, okay, so what happens if I take 4 weeks, let's say, and I'm just as nice to him as I possibly can be? So I did this experiment, and it turned out that his life turned great because suddenly everything was easy. There was no conflict. My life didn't improve very much, because not only was I stifling some of my opinions, which I would have preferred to express, but also his ADHD symptoms didn't change. So I was still having the same issues that I had before. So at the end of the 4 weeks, I was actually madder than I had been before. It was a very good experiment in that I learned a lot from it, but didn't help my situation. I mean, there's this very delicate balance, right? You have to work on yourself because that's all you can do. It's all you can control. At the same time, you need to communicate in a non-threatening way that it is important for you that your partner is actually making sure that they are contributing that they're being a good partner, they're contributing their best self.
Melissa, I'm so thankful that you came on to talk about this, because I don't think this is the easiest thing to do, but if you're going to do something, what the advice that you've given really makes a lot of sense. I mean, there's no sure things, and if this was really easy, then it wouldn't be an issue out there. But I do think that it's hitting the crux of the situation. And I know you do a lot of work with couples and do some phone seminars and stuff like that. For people that are interested in learning more, how do they get in contact with you?
They can go to my website at ADHDmarriage.com. And I would say this topic is really important because until you get out of denial, you really can't start the healing process for the relationship, and you both have to get out of it. And that's actually one of the topics that I cover in my seminar, is what the healing process looks like and the different stages that couples go through.
Yep, excellent. Melissa, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.